Alright guys, so in this episode we are going to be creating the review component. So I'll quickly go to my VS Code and we'll first of all create the document. So I will create a new file called review.ts, and let me just look for a document we've used before. I'll just copy this part. So I'm lazy and I'll paste it like so. I'll close it here. Alright, so the next thing I'll do, I'll just change this to review, and this will be review. Like so. Then inside the fields array, let me bring this closer a bit. So fields, like so. We're going to have various objects inside. The first one we'll have is the name, and this will be user. And basically this is just we're just referencing to the user type or the user document, but I'll change the title to guest so it doesn't cause any kind of confusion. Then the next field will be the room, so this one will be room, and I'll do it like so. Then next one will be to hold the rating, so we'll say it should be name, so this will be rating, and the title will be rating, type will be number, and for the options we'll just pass a list like so, and this will also be an array of objects, and the first one will be, okay, I'll just accept this, then make edits to it. So instead of using stars, we'll be making use of remarks. So you can decide to leave yours as this, but I'll use poor for the first one. I just say this one should be fair. It should be an hyphen here, like so. Third one should be good. Okay, now I will accept this one. So poor, fair, good, very good, and excellent. So we're done with this. Let me add the comma here. Then the next one is to add the comment, the actual comment. So again, I will accept this from Copilot, and next field will be the created ad. So it says should be created ads, and it should be read only, so we don't want to modify this. So read only will be true. And lastly, let me add a comma here. Then lastly, we're going to add a field where we have to approve the review that we want to display. So if a user enters a review, the admin will have to confirm that review before it's be rendered on the browser. But if you don't want to do that, you can just stop here. So I will just say name should be is approved, and the title should be is approved, and the type should be boolean. It should be inside the string, and the initial value we're going to set it to false. So we don't want to publish a review that a user enter by default. We want to go through that review and approve it before it's being rendered on the UI. So that's for that. We just need to now import it here. So we say review like so. All right, so the next thing we want to do is to go back, and I will add like a preview, just like we did on the, I think it's on the user, yeah. So something I did here, just to get a preview. So to do that, I'll create the preview object like so. So we say preview, and we'll say select, and this will take in the title. This will be comment. So we want to see the comment. We want to also see the rating. Should be rating. Then we also want to see the guest name. So say this should be user.user.name, like so. And I don't know why I'm getting errors here, so this should be correct. Expected, but it's there, right? Okay, this should be done outside, not inside the field. Feed array should be done outside, like so. So underneath this, we'll say prepare, and we'll pass the title, the rating, and the guest name. So we'll say rating and guest name, and we just give them a type of any. Basically, what we want to do is to return the title. That should be title, and we'll add a check. So we just basically say the title. Then if there's a title, we just say title dot length is greater than 50. Then render this. So we say backticks. Say title dot substring. If I can type this very well. So say 0 to 50. And I will just say dot dot dot, like so. Else we'll just render the title as it is. Then we're also going to get an error because we also added two conditionals here. So we also need to just say else again, no comments, like so. So I'll save this, and for the subtitle we'll just say let me use backticks and say guest name. If there's no guest name, we'll just say unknown guest or something. So you just say unknown guest, like so. Then we'll just pass in the rating. So I'll just use a period, like so, and also pass in the rating. So I'll accept this as well. So if there's no rating, we'll just say no rating. That's for the review.ts file. We are not going to really see the effect right now till we add a review. So let's quickly build out the actual review component. So I'll go to the review.tsx. Okay, we don't have that created. So guess I will just go to component and say review.tsx. Like so. Then I'll have to go to the reservation, like so, and say this should be review, and we should not import this one. So I don't know why it's telling me to import this one. So what I will do is I'll manually do that. So I will say import review. Okay, or rather still, I think I didn't add the actual, yeah, so I didn't add any template here. So go back like so, and let's try and import it again. So we'll say control space bar and still the same thing, but now we should, let me just do it manually. So we say import review from components, then we say review, like so, then add a semicolon here. So we save, and nothing should really change. You can see it's still review. So we can come right here now. And before we write anything, let's also make sure that this is a client component. So we say client will be load. So we'll go back to the review, and I will say And inside this div, I will give this a class name of margin top of 16, and on medium devices and up, margin top will be 0. Then inside the div, we'll create a new div again, and for the styling, this will be margin bottom of 6. Inside this div, we'll have an history that says write a review. This will have a styling of text 200, MD, so medium devices and up, text will be 300, add the margin bottom of 1, a font of semi-bold, like so. Then underneath the history, we'll bring a text that says share your thoughts with everyone. So for the styling, this will be text neutral 400. Then outside this div, we'll create a new div again, and this one is going to hold the overall rating. So we say this should have a class of MB of 6, and inside this div we give this an H5 that says overall rating, and for the class give this a margin bottom of 2, text will be large, and fonts will be semi bold. Then underneath this we'll create a new div, and I'll give this a class of flex items will be center and the gap of 2. And basically we just want to loop over the different ratings. So in this case they're going to be stars. So the way to do that, I will just use curly brackets and I will pass an empty array like so, and I will basically accept this prompt because this is exactly what I need, just that I will put this inside a button. So this will be inside the button, and since we're using CN, we should just use the button components. All right, so paste this like so. Then also make sure we have the star icon imported, and we'll give this the key will be the star like so. We're still going to make some changes to these as well, but for now we just leave it as it is, and I will just need it on one place, not the 2 places. And instead of yellow, I just thought about this, we just make this primary, so just make this to be the primary color. Then we give this a size of 6. Then underneath this div, we're going to bring our form, and this will be empty for now. So bring in the label from CN again, and this will be your review. Then for the class name, this will be margin bottom of 2, inline will be block, text will be large, then add a font of semi-bold. Then we'll say HTML4 message. Then we'll add a text area. So we don't have text area yet from CN. So I'll quickly go to here and say CN. So I'll look for text area, and make sure you copy it and open the terminal and create a new terminal and paste in that command like so. Then while that is installing, let me leave that up open and just bring this down a bit. So we'll get rid of it for now. Then we also need a small tag, and we'll add the text. So we just say describe what you liked, what you didn't So I got like an autocomplete. And any other, you see any other feedback. So I'll say yes here, hit enter. And for this, we'll give this a class of italic. And underneath this, we just bring in the button. So this will be button, and the text will be submit review. I'm going to make this dynamic as well. So for the styling, we say margin top should be 6, the weight should be 4, then the type will be submit, like so. And this is still taking some time to install because my network is quite slow. But let's see what we have so far. So I can come back here, and this is what we have so far. This doesn't look nice yet, so I think we need to get rid of this background that's showing on top of this style. So I would say okay, so the background is coming from the button, so we'll just say class name. I will set the background to none. I think that should get rid of the background. Yeah. And also, I think in this context, I will just use, instead of just using this, I'll just get away with the normal button tag. So I think that will make everything much simpler. So save, and this is so much better. All right, so the component has been installed, so I can come back, and I think it's underneath here. So we say text area, and this should be self-closing. So the ID message, so that it aligns with this. The value is going to be something, but for now you just put an empty value here. Then the placeholder will be, write your review here. For the class name, we'll say MB should be 2. We'll give it a mean height of like 48. Then we'll set this to required, like so. So let's preview, and you can see the changes are coming in nice. So what we need to do right now is to grab the values that user enters and send that value to our review schema, so, or review documents rather. So what we're going to do is I'll go back here, and I'm going to create an interface, or not this. So I'm going to create an interface. I'll say interface, I'll call this review, spelling review wrong, review form props, and we'll pass in the string, text will be string, and the rating will be number. So these are the two values we want to get from the user. Now quickly create a state right here called form data, and set form data. So this will be use state, and this will be of an object of text. And in order for us to get autocomplete, let's just pass in the review form props. So this will accept the text, which will be an empty string for now, and the rating, which will be 0. If you add something else, it's going to throw an error. So we also need the loading state. So we say it's loading, set is loading, and this will be false by default. And we also need and we're also going to add an error state as well. So I'll just call this one for the rating. So say rating error and set rating error like so. But this will just be an empty string, not null. All right. So you don't need to add string. I don't know why Copilot is misbehaving. Okay. So we say const and we'll create a new function called a handle rating change. So basically we want to store the rating value inside the set form data for both the rating and the text. But for the rating, what we'll do is we'll say set form data and we'll grab the previous data. So we say previous data and we'll say spread over the previous data and we'll pass in the rating. So the rating now will be the star right here. So what we'll do is that I'll come here and pass in that star and give it a type of number. Then this now will be the star like so. Then we'll just set the rating error to none or to an empty string. So basically if a star is selected, we want to get rid of the rating error. Then for the text, we'll just say handle review text change, and this is going to be an arrow function, and this will take an event. This will be change event, and specifically we want to work with the what HTML text area element because that's what we have. So I will just tab this because it's similar to this, but this time we're spreading over the previous value and passing in the new text value. So we also need to import this one from React. Okay, then that's for that. So let's quickly implement these two functions we've created. So I'll scroll down to the button and I will say on click, and this should be handle rating star and basically passing the star. And for the star icon, we'll make some little tweaks to the class name. So I'll just use square curly bracket like so. So basically if the rating is greater than or equals to the value of the star, we want the primary color to be filled. So basically we just want this to have a background of to be filled with a background of blue. So to do that, we just say using $sign and say form data.rating is greater than or equals to the star, then set it to the text primary and we set the fill to primary as well. Else we want to just set it to text primary and we no longer need this one anymore here. So if we save this now, we can easily select different ratings. All right, cool. So next one is going to be for the text area, and before we do that, remember that we also need to show an error state if no rating is selected. So under the button, I'll just do it here and say the message or the rating error should show when there's a written error. So this should only render if the user tries to submit without selecting a rating. So I'll leave it like so, but I'll just give this a margin top of 1 and a text of small. Then for the text area, the value now will be form data dot text. Then on change, we'll pass in the handle review text change like so. And since we already have this required, there's no need to pass in another error state for it. So while we are here, let's just come to the form and let's give it an on submit. So we say on submit, we say handle submit. We've not created this function yet. So we say if it's loading, then we want to show a spinner component. We've not created that yet. So, and this spinner component will have a text that says submitting, like so. Else we just want to show the submit review text. So I'll quickly open Sublime Text and I will look for that spinner component. So I think this is it. So I'll just copy this and close this out, and inside this component folder I'll create a spinner.tsx file and paste it here. So basically we are passing the text, which is this text, and the class name, so that we can pass in our own class if we choose to, and this class name, so that you can style it directly from any of the file you are using this spinner component. And basically that is just it. I didn't want to write this by hand because it's fairly straightforward and it's just 18 lines of code. So I will just save this and I'm going to import it like so. And for the handle submit, I'm just going to create that function right now. So we say const handle submit like so, and this is going to be an async function, and the type will be form event, and this will be HTML form element. And basically we say we want to prevent the form from submitting itself, and we just add some little validation. So we say if the form data dot rating is equals to 0, then we set the rating error state to please select. I think I've reported something wrong, so I'll save this and we'll return. So okay, we're good. So basically we'll just update the set rating error state to please select a rating. Then also if the form data dot text is equals to an empty string, we want to just we want to say toast should be error, and we'll say please write a review and return it as well. But let me also import the toast from Sona. All right, cool. Then we also set is loading to true, and we'll add a try and catch block. So we say try catch, and the catch we basically pass in the error like so, and we just console the log, and this will be error submitting review. Just passing the error there. And also we can just throw an error as well on the UI that says failed to submit review, please try again. Then for the final state or the final block, we just set is loading to false. Then inside this try block, basically what we want to do is we want to first of all extract the booking info from the URL. So we say const URL, this will be new URL. I'll say window.location.href, and we set the reservation ID to be URL.pathname. And so basically we just want to remove the trailing slash and return the last element in the array. Remember that we passed in the entire booking info when we're trying to book. So store this inside the response. So we say response and we await, say fetch, and we want to send the response to this endpoint. So we say API /API rather reviews. I'm going to create this in a bit. Then the method will be post, the headers will be content IJFC, and I think I'm going to accept this as it is. The only difference I'm going to just do is to, instead of passing the entire thing, we can just say you can do them individually. So you can choose to leave them like this, but to make it straightforward, I will just pass in each and every one of them because these are the fields that we have. So we say comment should be form data.text and the rating should be form data.rating, like so. Then we want to return, so we say result and await the response .json, like so. And we'll say if the response is not okay, I just say fail to submit a review, please try again. Else if it's okay, so if it's okay, we just say toast dot success and we say review submitted successfully. Then we just want to clear out the entire form data, so say form data and clear out everything, like so. All right, cool. So next thing to do is to now create this endpoint to test this our front-end code right here. So I will go to the API folder and I'll call this reviews.ts. Remember, the name should always match. So I'll go to that reviews and I'll look for this component. I think it's this one. Should I use this one? So I'll copy everything here and I'll paste it here. So I'm making a few changes to this, but I'll be leaving most of it. So for this, I'm going to leave everything as it is here. Then for this one, we'll leave the locals as it is. We'll leave this as it is as well. But for this part, remember we are passing, let me go back to the review component. So we're passing reservation ID, comment, and the rating. So if we go back, this will be reservation ID, then comment, then rating, like so. Then we want to first of all get the booking details to the room that is being referenced. So in order to do that, we say booking and we await. I'll say Sanity client of fetch and we say backticks and bring in grok. So we'll say asterisk. So and say underscore type, and we want to go to the booking document, and reservation ID is equals to the reservation ID, and the user dot ref, or rather that underscore ref, is equals to the user ID, like so. I want to grab the first one. All right, so we want to pass the ID, the reservation ID, the room, but now we just want to structure it and grab just the room ID. So say underscore ID, just like so. Add the comma here. We need the check-in, like so, and the check out. And finally, just underneath this, we want to return the reservation ID and the user ID. And let's say we want to still add a semicolon right here. And again, okay, Copilot is telling me that I need to add a comma right here so I don't get an error. All right, ignore this. This is showing because I think we have it declared twice. So I think this is what we needed, but it is what it is. I'll just get rid of this one. Then I will copy this code and say if there's no booking, just want to throw this error. I'll get rid of this one. So now we want to check if the user has already submitted a review for the room. So to do that, we just say const existing review, and we are with Sanity client to fetch. So then this time we'll be querying the review schema. So we say should be square brackets underscore type, and we say review. Keep on spelling review wrong, like so, and the user dot underscore ref is equals to the user ID and the room, not booking, rather the room dot underscore ref is equals to the room ID. I want to grab the first one. So like so, we'll pass in the user ID and also pass in the room ID that we are getting from this booking. So the next thing to do is to add a check to see if existing review, then we want to return new response, and I'll just pass in this one like so. So this will return a new, and this should be error, not message. So return an error with a type of 409, not 400. A type of 409 that says you have already submitted a review for this booking. But if that person has not submitted a review yet, all we have to do now is to change this mutation to create instead of patch. So we say create, and the type will be review, and I think I'm going to accept this because we need the user ID and the room ID as well. Then we need the rating, so I'm get rid of this too. So we say rating should be rating, then the comment should be comment, then created at should be new date dot to iOS string, then is approved will be false by default. And we are going to leave most of these things like so, but we just change the text. So fail to submit review, so for this part we'll say review submitted successfully, or rather still let me do something different. So we can just say success. We use the success state. So success, remember we think that's what I used here. Yeah, so we say success should be true. So this will be true, like so, and we'll leave the rest like so. Very cool. And again, this should not be booking, so submitting review and submit review. So I guess we can test it out now. So I can select a rating and say this is a nice room, and if we hit submit, so review submitted successfully and the field has been cleared. So let's check if we are getting that data on our review document. Alright, so in case if you are getting a blank screen like me, what you have to do is to get rid of this preview that we imported while doing this. So while doing this rather. So with that now, our studio should load. Alright, so we can go to the review, and remember we just added the review, so that review should show right here. And this is the preview that I was initially talking about. So this is a nice room, and the name and the rating. So basically this is it right here. If you want to still add the media, you can do that right here and just passing that as the last parameter or the last field right here. So we can click on it now. Alright, so you can see who wrote the review, the room that is being reviewed, then the rating. You can see 3 is for good, and this is a nice room. And as you can see now, the approve is false, and we're going to leave it like so. In the next video, we're going to render as the review on our UI. So if we go back, so let's just say the user now wants to add another review again, and just say submit review. It's going to get this data says let me cancel this one out, failed to submit review, please try again. So we don't want to show this exact state. What we want to show is where did you write that? Let me quickly look for that. So this particular error, say you have already submitted a review for this booking. So to do that, we just go to our review component, and right here I will just say if it's not okay, and if the response to status is equals to 409, which is a conflict, then we just say toast the error, and it's going to be the result dot error. And you can also still add another text as a backup one, or as a fallback if this one doesn't work. But 9 out of 10 times you should get the exact error in as long as you passed it right here. All right, so let's just stop the form from submitting. Say return, like so. Then we just say else, or we'll just render out, or instead let's just throw a new error. So just say throw new error that says failed to submit review. All right, so let's try that again. So say 5-star and click on submit review. So you can now see that we get this message that say you have already submitted a review for this booking. So you can close that out. All right, guys, that's it for this episode. We are almost done with this series though. In the next episode, we are going to render out the review that is being added by a user.